All right, Royce Young Chain presented by Josh Arnold, investment consultant, Mr. Money Talk. We will get to the breaking NFC North news where the Bears predictably started firing people. But you just told us off mic you're down on the Timberwolves.
I am down on the Timberwolves. First of all, I had no idea that Michael Conley would look this old all of a sudden. I mean,
Yeah.
now it's early in the year, and maybe it's going to take a while, but he's telling us that he's got some ailments, and if he can't play now, Nas playing great, but I still don't see him as a point guard. Do you? I mean, he can play there for 15 minutes, and you can play him other places. He's been probably their best player, but he's not the dish guy. And then they won't play the kid Dillingham because they think he's too crazy. So I don't like that. And it doesn't look to me like they've figured out how to fit in DiVincenzo yet. He played a lot better with Jalen Brunson than he's playing with these guys. And then McDaniels, what are they going to do? It's terrible. I mean, right now, and Randall, I'm not. He's okay, but they actually Cat was a better guy for Edwards and those guys to play with than Randall is. I think Randall is a ball stopper, so he gets some assists. But I don't know. I don't like him right now. But then again, I guess at the start of the year, I was saying to myself, it's going to take 15 or 20 games. So we'll see if they figure it out. But right now, they don't look good to me.
They do have a Conley problem. We talked about that on Flagrant Howls yesterday. But it's interesting when you look at like when Nikhil and DiVincenzo are on the court together with any other combination and Conley is off the court, the Wolves are essentially blowing the opponents out in those minutes. It's when Conley's out there and some of when Jaden McDaniels is out there that they lose a ton of ground. I mean, they were like, I want to say they were a plus 15 in the non-Conley minutes against the Heat. And in the 24 minutes Conley was out there, they were a minus 16. So if you just reduce the Conley minutes, you're probably 2 extra wins so far this season.
Yeah, that could be the case, and I mean, he was the adult in the room, as we said last year, and
And
was
he can
a
still be that,
key
just
player. He might get better, but I don't know. Maybe he had to take a long summer off to rest those old bones and didn't really do much this summer. But and then I don't know. Is this McDaniel's for life? This might be him, right? This might be him. This is just not going to be an offensive player. Gonna pout. Gonna every time he gets his third foul, he's gonna sulk over to the bench and sit there or leave the arena and punch a Teflon wall or some damn thing. I mean, it's I don't know. He's to me he's never improved. He's the same guy he was 3 years ago. He's just not an offensive player, and he's a pouting guy. He'll guard somebody. They're calling fouls on him this year, which is not good. If when you're a defensive specialist and you're getting 3 fouls in your first 8 minutes, that's not good.
yeah. It's by the way, your guy Cat. I saw this stat last night. So the Knicks are 4-5 right now.
Yes, right.
They can't guard anybody. And
No.
Offensively, Cat's been awesome. He's like 25 points a game, and he's doing Cat things. But somebody had this, Tim Bontemps from ESPN, that Cat is allowing opponents, now that he's playing the 5, he's allowing opponents to shoot 91% in the restricted area so far this season.
That's not good. No, he was very comfortable out there playing away from the basket. This thing worked out good for him. I don't think he wants to be down there grinding anymore. And the thing about him is that Abunobi or whatever it is supposed to be a great defender, right?
Ananobi,
And
yeah.
he's a great player too, but they don't have any depth. And the other guy, Hart, can't shoot. So they got 4 players who can score, and they missed DiVincenzo. But I'm interested in that stat you had with Naw playing with him because I was not aware of that. But I don't
Yeah,
know
so so
what do
their
you want him
best
to do?
Basketball Reference, this is the great. I love stats, and Basketball Reference is just ridiculous for this stuff. So if you take every single Timberwolves 2-man lineup pairing, so
Okay.
Phil and Royce, Judd and Royce,
Yeah,
and
right.
all the way out throughout, and you take everyone who's played at least 100 minutes together, the 4 best 2-man pairings in terms of net points per 100 possessions are Nikhil with Gobert on the court, Nikhil with Naz Reid, Nikhil with Anthony Edwards, Nikhil with Dante DiVincenzo, and then the next 3 are DiVincenzo with Anthony Edwards, DiVincenzo with Naz Reid, DiVincenzo with Rudy Gobert. So they may not be stuffing the stats, but there's something about the way that the ball moves and maybe the switchability on defense that is much better than when Jaden McDaniels and Mike Conley have been on the court through 10 games.
Where are you guys on Ant right now? Where are you on Ant? Attitude-wise, is it just okay, I'm the new face of the NBA, and I'm the number one guy, and if I get the ball, I got to shoot it no matter where the hell I am? Is that the Ant we're seeing now? I mean, he was making 45% of his threes, but Judd and I were talking about this yesterday. That's not going to last, okay?
Well, it's up to 46% now, so
it's going to go up.
It's going up.
Not going to go up. It's going to end up being 39 or 40 because
by the way, if he's going to shoot 39%, he should be taking as many as he wants until that number breaks.
I don't know. I think he's going to. I hate to say this, but he's got a fighting chance to be a pain in the ass before it's all over. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I like the guy, but sometimes they just, get yourself, grind out a nice basket here and win this game instead of, but Finchie's having a bad year too so far, I think.
The end of that Heat game was a disaster. Yeah.
He hasn't figured out what, he hasn't. I would think they did a lot of plotting after the trade there. It came late, but I don't think they figured out yet what they want to do. I think they're still screwed up.
Can I remind both of you that, first of all, it's my job to panic. It's my job to look at one of 882 and melt down. But second of all, I don't think that the cat trade came so late. Yeah. I think you're exactly right. I don't think what we are seeing now is reflective of what we're going to see in January necessarily. So I think it's hard to make assumptions because, as going back to training camp, Pat, as you talked about the time, it's probably going to take 20 games just for Finch to figure things out. Now, I will say I would like to see the bench used now a little bit more. That one, but I think as far as the construction of how it's going to look and work, it's early. Don't panic.
Yeah, well, okay. But I got him in a plan already.
That sounds like panic.
That sounds like a lot of panic to me.
But we talked about this yesterday, though, Phil, Judd and I. Why in God's name you got 5 guys out there the other night who can't make a shot, and he won't put mine out on the floor and let him, with the one thing that guy might be able to do is make a shot, run him out there for 8 or 9 minutes and see if he can give a little life to your bore-ass slogging offense that you're playing. It's stupid. It's stupid that he's not picked out a couple of these guys and given them some minutes. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, they've got back-to-back games against Portland here this week, I think tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's
give 8 minutes to a couple of these guys, you know?
Yeah, let's go here. Come on. What? I wrote kind of a satirical thing about too much talent, but he's got too much talent, so he doesn't use any of it. I don't know. I mean, let Luka play 8 minutes too. What the hell? He's out there now. He's so desperate. The 3-4 minutes he gets to play looks like a complete stooge.
He's running around. He is very excited when he's out there.
What a great
To
word.
do something. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. When they played last year and they gave him a little stretch, he was fine. But now it's like panic. This is the only 3 minutes I'm going to get for a month. I better try to do something.
Hey, by the way, to your point about the play-in, you're a little early on that take, but I respect it. But here's the thing. So I was going to say, look at the West right now, and then let's play a game called how many teams in the Eastern Conference are above 500 right now?
God.
Yeah.
2.
2. Yeah.
2?
I looked yesterday.
2.
Really?
The Cavs and the Celtics are the only two teams above 500 in the Eastern Conference.
And the Cavs haven't lost, right? They're still
They're
unbeaten.
12-0. Yeah.
They're 12-0, and then the Celtics are, it's unbelievable. They shoot 53s every night, and but everybody else is under 500. We got to get in the East, man. Come on, put teams in Vegas and Seattle. Put us in the East.
It's going to happen.
The Bucks are awful. Doc's
2-8.
going to get blown out.
And Giannis is getting 35 a game, and they don't have, they played all these games. They're tied in the middle of the fourth quarter, and then end up getting beat by 8 or 10 or something. They can't. What are they? 2-8, 2-9.
They're 2-8. Yeah, and the Sixers are 2-7 because Embiid.
Idiots coming back tonight. There's a paragraph today in the thing. All the stuff he's been through since the Olympics is unbelievable. I don't know though. On the sports writer thing, the accosting the sports writer, I think he just kind of touched him, right? But that sports writer was way out of line, in my opinion. And way out of line.
Yeah.
Because it was mean. It was
and it was about children and dead brothers and stuff like. I mean, it was
his dead child and brother. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
daily double right there. I'd kick your ass.
It's I mean, I can't believe the editors let that get through. I mean, I've gotten some idiotic stuff through in my 50 years of writing columns, but I never considered making light of some guy's dead child, for God's sake.
But isn't there? I mean,
I wouldn't say making light, but just making reference to it. What?
That's one thing to punch. I mean, punching up is a thing, right? Punch up at ownership. Punch up at the guy making $50 million who never plays.
Yeah.
But then when you turn your attention toward family members or deceased family members, now you're punching down on people that don't deserve it. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and this guy, I don't know him at all, but he's, I guess he loves being a rabble rouser, but he probably, I don't think he's a big show up in a locker room guy, but he showed up this time probably hoping the guy would go after him. So I don't know. It's, I don't even think.
Hold on, Declan, if you're lurking, feel free to jump in here. Major breaking Twins news.
Wow.
Major breaking Twins news here, Pat. I'm just going to make sure this is.
Did we get rid of Chris Paddock?
No, but bigger news than that. So this is from The Athletic at 9:48, 5 minutes ago. Dave St. Peter is stepping down as team president of the Twins and moving to an advisory role. Derek Falvey is being named team president. He'll continue to handle baseball operations while also adding business duties to his resume. Jeremy Zoll takes over as general manager in the place of Thad Levine.
Oh, that's good. He has a personality of a wall. But okay, I did hear that. I think I mentioned it on here, a couple of times that I'd heard that Falvey was going to be the president. So when they moved it, but I didn't know it was coming now because the word out earlier this year when they promoted Dustin, it was like St. Pete was getting ready to move on in a couple of years, and Dustin was being, prepared for the task, and then the season went to hell. And I had heard this that Falvey was going to be the president. He's going to continue to. What do they say now? Continue to run the baseball operation.
Yeah. Okay. But he's essentially gaining more power in the organization because he's now overseeing baseball ops and business. He's overseeing the entire organization now.
Yeah, well, David is, I'm not surprised. I guess I'm surprised it's happening right now. I thought maybe he'd get a few more months on the task or so, but,
why would this happen?
He had a pretty good run for a kid from North Dakota who started in the mailroom, right? He had a pretty good run. So,
but is this? I mean, we're all speculating here, but I don't know why this would be driven by ownership if they're selling the team. So is this Dave sort of on his own saying, "Hey, I've been doing this for decades at this point. Why make this change if you're the Pohlads?"
I think that's. I think it's a they're still operating the team as if they're going to own it for some time, and I think it's their move. I think that, but I think Joe Polad was kind of on the let's promote Dustin here eventually camp, and that maybe he got overruled by by his uncle, and his father might have overruled him. That I'm just guessing here, but I had heard 6 weeks ago that if there was a change at president, it was going to be Falvey. So
Wow.
So they're setting up. So basically, I think what this probably indicates is they're trying to set up the administration that they want the new group to inherit and take. And so now, because Dave's been there for what, Pat, 33 years? I mean, he's been there for a long time.
Been president for what, 20 maybe?
Yeah, so this makes Falvey more invaluable as well because it gives him total control. So I think this is probably, I think this is what this is the doing of what the Twins foresee the new group taking and being set with, if that makes sense.
So is it, what are they saying? Is it they going to, just the athletic scoop, or is it
No, the beat scoop. I think most the all beat writers have it, but Dave actually just put out a thank you from his Twitter account with a press release. So I'm sure that press release is about to hit us any moment.
Just about to pop. Okay.
Wow.
So, and they didn't say anything about they're having a press conference or anything today, huh? Not yet.
Not yet.
Those of us those of us who were going to write a column on something else are interested in that. What the change of plan is, but I'll track down St. Pete. But I guess I'm surprised it happened right now. But I guess everything that they were going to do got moved up when they decided to announce we've had enough of this and we're going to sell, right? So
yes, absolutely. And plus, too, the one thing is, I know it's going to take some time, Pat, but unlike a change of like GMs or player trades, this whole thing is going to be done pretty quietly because it's done by a private firm, right? Like they look for people to buy. So I think we assume it's going nowhere because there aren't leaks, but there aren't leaks intentionally. So like I don't think we have any clue about what stage this has been at, just like I don't think that we know exactly how it started and where it's going to go either from an ownership standpoint.
I think if they hadn't, even if they'd been mulling this out for a month or two, and we're thinking we're having these private equity firms, dealing with them, even if I think all the heat they were getting had a lot to do with them releasing it publicly. That's what I think that it became public news rather than have to sit there and take the daily beating. I think that's why it came out. There was no other really reason for him to announce it, was there?
No,
not really. No. No, you're spot on, I think.
Yeah. But Pat's right. This has I heard about this, and this has been in the works for what, Pat, like the last few months. I think even like towards the end of the season, this was kind of been bandied about among people that I was talking to.
Yeah, and late summer. That's what I think it was a member of the radio broadcast team who used to play baseball who suggested to me that this was going to happen. But
so perks the leak, huh?
I won't, and it wasn't a pitcher. It was a different guy. So, but I won't name his name, and he could use a haircut too. But anyway, we're not. I'm not going to identify the source, but that's what
Tim Laudner. Is that what you said?
Laudner. His hair's out of control.
Not Laudner. Not Laudner, but yeah.
All right. Well, okay.
The glad man told me that 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago that he'd heard that was happening. So he knows he doesn't kind of advertise how much he knows about what's going on, but he's a very curious guy, and if he sees something that piques his interest, he finds out what the hell's going on. So.
Yeah. All right, Pat. Well, we got to jump into a scoop session here with this breaking news, but. Yeah, I have more information to come, and we'll see if they do a press conference or something. But another, major twin shakeup. Okay, and we'll catch you later this week, sir.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you.
There he is, Royce Young Unchained, presented by Josh Arnold